Picture this. It's your birthday. Someone has organized a little gathering, maybe coworkers, maybe family. The cake comes out, the candles are lit, and then it starts. That song. Everyone around you is smiling, clapping, singing, and you're just standing there, smiling back, but something inside you is quietly dying. You don't know where to look, you don't know what to do with your hands, and the whole time one thought keeps running through your head. Please let this be over. If you've ever felt that, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. There's a particular kind of person, and I think a lot of us know one, or maybe are one, who genuinely doesn't enjoy celebrating their birthday. Not because they're depressed, not because something terrible happened, but just because birthdays feel like too much. And what's interesting is that most people around them don't really understand it. They say things like, "You only turn 30 once," or "Come on, just enjoy it." And the person smiles and nods and feels even more disconnected than before. So the real question is, what's actually going on underneath that discomfort? The first thing worth understanding is that some people are just wired differently when it comes to attention. There's a concept in psychology around spotlight sensitivity, the feeling that when all eyes are on you, something in your nervous system quietly goes into alert mode. It's not shyness exactly, it's more like being seen feels exposing, even in a room full of people who love you. Maybe especially in a room full of people who love you, because the expectation is that you should be glowing, you should feel special. And when you don't, when you feel slightly hollow or out of place, there's this secondary discomfort of feeling like you're failing at your own birthday. And that pressure, the pressure to feel a certain way, is something a lot of birthday avoiders talk about. Birthdays carry this unspoken rule that you're supposed to be happy, radiantly, visibly happy. And for people who are emotionally sensitive or highly self-aware, that kind of mandatory joy can feel almost suffocating. You're not just having a day, you're performing a feeling. And if the feeling doesn't come naturally, the whole thing starts to feel like a lie you're living in front of everyone you care about. Then there's something else, something a little quieter but worth sitting with. Birthdays mark time, and for some people, that's not a celebration, it's a reckoning. Another year gone. A kind of invisible audit starts running in the background. Where am I? Where did I think I'd be? What does it mean that another year has passed and I still haven't, and you can fill in that blank differently for every person? It's not always about failure. Sometimes it's just the weight of time itself. The strange feeling of being another year older in a world that keeps moving fast, and wondering if you're moving with it or just being carried. Here's the shift I want you to sit with for a second though. It might not be that these people hate birthdays, it might be what birthdays represent to them. Because underneath the discomfort with attention, underneath the exhaustion of performance, underneath the quiet sadness that sometimes creeps in, there's often a person who actually feels things very deeply, who cares more, not less, who maybe wanted the day to mean something real and isn't sure how to find that meaning in cake and singing. And here's one of those slightly uncomfortable truths that doesn't get said enough. Some people avoid their birthdays because being seen, really seen, even lovingly, feels vulnerable in a way they haven't fully made peace with yet. Not because they don't want connection, but because genuine attention, the kind that says, "You matter, we're glad you exist," that can be surprisingly hard to receive when you're not sure you fully believe it yourself. That's not dramatic, that's just honest. So if this is you, if birthdays have always felt like something to survive rather than something to enjoy, maybe it's worth asking not what's wrong with me, but rather what am I actually feeling underneath this? Because there's usually something real there, something worth being curious about, not ashamed of. And maybe you don't need a party to feel it. Maybe you need an afternoon alone with your favorite coffee and a walk somewhere quiet. Maybe you need one honest conversation with one person who actually gets you. Maybe your version of celebration just looks different, and that's not a deficit, that's just you, knowing yourself well enough to know what actually fills you up. Maybe it's not that you don't like birthdays, maybe you just experience them differently than most people, and somewhere in that difference, there's something worth understanding about who you really are. Thanks for staying, guys. Please watch my previous videos, like and maybe subscribe, comment your thoughts, I would like to read some. See you guys in the next video.